Hello YouTube friends and followers, I hope you've been well since the last episode. We're now into our 4th month of this new channel on UFOs and mysteries and paranormal. Subscribers have been coming and going, but it's holding steady around about 1100 people now. Thanks for viewing and following, it's much appreciated. In this episode 14 we're going to tribute to some of our fallen ufologists out there and other researchers that have died from cancer and mysterious outcomes, and also from suicides or alleged suicides. There's some mysteries here and a lot of sadness. After you've watched this, you may change your mind about being in the UFO community, or ufologist as it's known. As you can see on the intro here, they're wondering if all these people dying from cancer have some sort of connection, or someone's using chemicals or radiation or microwaves to cause the cancers in the people, to make them appear that they've died naturally. There's plenty of poisons out there that, if they don't look for it specifically, may get missed in autopsies. Unless they understand that they've been poisoned, they don't look for it, and a lot of poisons can cause heart attacks and natural death outcomes. First up is Dr. Roger Leir. Sadly, he's a big miss in the community on alien implants research. As you can see, he's done quite a lot in his lifespan, and his death, even though it wasn't mysterious, does sort of question the weird way he died. Apparently he died from shingles complications. Now, what is shingles exactly? Well, it's a virus, a bit like chickenpox, and 1 in 3 people get it every year in the United States. And only about 4% are sent to the hospital with the condition. The rest recover at home, I guess. And a small percentage of 96 people in the United States on average die from it, which is a very small percentage when you compare it to the population of 320 million plus in America. So he was very unlucky indeed. Of course, you don't know if he was targeted individual, as they call it, where they may have caused the condition or killed him with something else, why the shingles masks the condition. But it's a good conspiracy nonetheless. A lot of it's to do with a weakened immune system, and of course cancer is meant to be like an immune system problem. And also suicides is meant to be related to brain chemistry problems. The next person is John Mack, who also was in the alien abduction research area. Apparently he was run over by a drunk driver in UK, but no one thought that was suspicious. As you can read, he did quite a lot in his research and helped out a lot of people, and come to the conclusion that the phenomenon was actually a real occurrence. Okay, now we come to Lloyd Pye, who died from cancer, skin cancer. He did research with alien bodies or star children, and elongated long skulls. A lot of people in the UFO community thought his death was suspicious because he gave some recent results that suggested that the DNA, half of it was non-humanoid, earthling, and possibly alien. 2 British crop circle researchers died within hours of each other, but on different circumstances. The first one was found dead on a seaside shore or coast. They thought that death was suspicious, but it was ruled suicide. And the other one is an older fellow who also died of cancer. A lot of cancer people. Carla Turner died of breast cancer here. Another strange case where Dr. Greer said he caught cancer, and so did his female assistant at the time. He survived it, but she didn't. And also his dog got cancer and died. So maybe they were targeted. And here's another friend of Stephen's who also died from cancer, a congressman. Stanley Fulham, another UFO investigator who died from cancer. James Hickens, a filmmaker on zero-point energy and alien technology, died of cancer, and also says heavy metal poisoning. Philip from Ancient Aliens, of a rare cancer of the blood vessels. Seems that dying at the age of 51 is a common age to die of cancer or suicide. James MacDonald died of suicide. It reads here and further along that he shot himself, and was possibly because of his split up with his wife and other things going wrong in his life at the time. But a lot of conspiracy people reckon he was murdered by the secret government or men in black. Looks like he was a pioneer in the Project Blue Book area and studies of UFOs with Hynek. Phil Schneider, at the age of 51, died from suicide. Apparently a strange suicide with rubber tubing around his neck, cutting off the blood flow to his brain. Don't know how he would be able to do that. As you can see that he's got missing fingers. Many in the UFO community think he's a fraud. He had his wiki page deleted in 2013, and he made wild claims like alien fight underground when they were making a tunnel, and also small nuke devices used for terror attacks in America for the building explosions. Bud Hopkins, another UFO alien abduction researcher, also died of cancer, but wasn't suspicious. He died at home. Well, he died from cancer complications, whatever that means, probably chemo. But yeah, he was a big player in the UFO community, and probably sadly lost of his great expertise and knowledge. Looks like he was into also physical evidence, like the scoop marks that the patients had. So something was taking samples of their DNA. Very interesting cases there. Max Byers, his case was very interesting. He's from UK. He died under very strange circumstances. Apparently he was vomiting black substance up before he died, and some say that he was murdered, and probably because of the sensitive things he was researching, like apparently it was Pizzagate, which is to do with child pedophile ring. Also that's sort of linked towards the US presidents and other rich people in America over the elections and WikiLeaks. And also there was some issues with him and some black magic cult or witchcraft that wanted to kill him. And also he had some strange occurrences or stories about UFO stuff in his life. including Super Soldier. He certainly was a strange character. Also, that his mother got a note from him before he died about to research his death if he gets killed or dies. So yes, a very interesting case there. But some say it was just natural causes. He was addicted to drugs or painkillers like Michael Jackson due to an injury. Ron Bonds, a conspiracy and UFO researcher, he died under strange circumstances. It's still not fully understood why or what, but apparently he ate a meal with some bacteria that killed him. Before he died, he had vomiting and diarrhea, and no one else in the restaurant or Mexican restaurant got sick or died. Morris Jessup, apparently he gassed himself in the car. Some researchers claim though that he was under mind control, some sort of influence. He was apparently researching the Philadelphia experiment where the ship disappeared in the harbour and reappeared elsewhere. Frank Edwards, apparently he got some death threats, but he died from a heart attack apparently. The note said he would be killed before the conference, a special UFO conference that was being held. Very suspect there. Damon Jr. jumped off a bridge and committed suicide. He wrote for a newspaper and wrote about UFOs. Edgar Gerald, couldn't find too much about his case, but he simply disappeared. He was in charge of a Australian research group, first one set up in Australia. Ron Rommel, he was a UFO Digest writer. He was found dead from suicide, apparently a gunshot wound, and it was kind of suspicious because there was a suicide note left that was written by a left-handed person when he was right-handed. Another famous UFO researcher died from cancer, Joseph Hynek, who was famous for the swamp gas theory. Dorothy apparently committed suicide with sleeping pills. She was well connected and was meeting with military figures. Perhaps there was something big going down, and we'll never know. Ron Johnson, a MUFON director, he died suspiciously in the dark in a conference. He was sipping on a drink and someone heard him gasp, and when the lights come back on, he was sitting there with a purple face with blood dripping from his nose. Joseph, another suspicious death. He was confirmed to be suicide, but was found in a bathtub in a hotel. Apparently he was having a secret meeting with some source about a government program called the Octopus. I think it was to do with being able to track anyone in the world. Sounds like NSA stuff. But he also did other sensitive research on Pine Gap and alike. Don Elkins, a ex-airline pilot, and he was researching RA material which they claim affected his mind, and he committed suicide. Two directors of a UFO group, husband and wife, both died of cancer within a year of each other. Donald, a famous test pilot, he died suddenly of cancer before he was going to reveal his UFO experiences. Shane Todd, who was working on a secret weapon program, was found dead. Wasn't sure if it was suicide or murder in China. That's all the UFO people I'm doing, and there's probably a lot more can be added to the list, but I will talk about some other cases from researchers on other fields and hacktivists that were quite interesting stories. A hacktivist, Aaron Swartz, was dead at 26, hung himself. FBI were going to put him in jail for 35 years for hacking into MIT's research files. He was doing cross-references for global warming research and seeing if they had bias because they were funded by a corporation donation. Another hacker, this time from New Zealand, a Kiwi hacker called Jack Barnaby. He died from apparent drug overuse or mixing of drugs, found dead in his bedroom just before a big reveal day for pacemakers, that he could switch it off with a wireless interface. But he hacked in some major things like ATMs spitting out cash and insulin pumps. So he found a lot of little holes in corporations' code for serious items that anyone could take control of and kill people. So was he silenced, or was it really just a silly mistake on his behalf with drugs? Parallels were drawn from Jack to Michael Hastings, who also died mysteriously in a car accident. Apparently cars could be hijacked, their computers taken control of, and his car went fast and collided into a tree out of control. Now, this was before he was meant to be doing a big story on US drone strikes. Another fascinating case, Stanley Meyer. He was working on experiments to do with water fuel, where you could have endless fuel at low cost, just using electricity to make hydrogen. Not like normal hydrogen fuel cells, but his one was make it on the go from batteries rather than store it as gas. Apparently he was offered big sums of money from oil companies to buy it off him, probably so they could suppress it and get rid of it. But he was eating a meal in a restaurant when he gasped and said, "They've poisoned me," and ran outside and collapsed and died, apparently. There's lots on him here and some of his patent ideas, if you're interested in reading up more on him. The last segment I'm doing is on strange death for scientists, or lots of scientists dying. Here is a selection about the Marconi Limited scientists all dying, how they're related to the Star Wars defense programs, and further on is a whole list of scientists and how they died. Some of them died really strange, like being shot at the door when they opened it for pizza delivery. This information comes from David Quell website. You can read more on his site. I will put links in the description so you can go and visit. And also Reness website on UFOs about mystery deaths or scientists. They've got a big list as well, and I'll put that in the description. And I'll probably leave it there and let you read through the rest with some music. And thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the episode, and see you again next time.